These are the games that keep you chugging throughout the work week. It is your midweek fixture right here in the Philippines Football League, match number 40, as we have Dynamic Herb Cebu FC hosting Stallion Laguna. It is a Wednesday, April 2, 2025, right here. And as we mentioned, this match is taking place at the home of Cebu, the Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Stadium, which is in the dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex, as we confirmed, of course, in the recent years. So glad you could join us right here on matchday.ph. This is Claro Manzano, your commentator for this game. And it is big with these implications, or what will happen if Cebu gets a result, or Stallion, or even if they get a draw, because we are nearing the end of the season already. Stallion Laguna have 3 games remaining, including this one. Same goes for Cebu, because we have the last 2 tickets in the final series remaining, but there are 4 teams who are gunning for it. Want a gig and Cebu are at 3 and 4 respectively, but they are not comfortable because Stallion Laguna is right behind at number 5, and then at number 6 there's the Davao Aguilas, who have a mathematical chance, but you keep swinging, of course, until you hear the full time whistle. That's why it's important for these teams to get going. We will take you through our starting lineups also later on, but we could talk about the picture in the standings. Thanks to their win earlier, Kaya FC Iloilo now top the table once more. Kaya defeated Loyola, so are at 40 points, and Manila Digger, who are not playing today, but they are both, or Digger and Kaya are equal when it comes to number of matches played at 16 each. So Digger's right below second place with 39 points. And then there's a gap actually from second onwards, because there's one Taguig, as we mentioned, with 27 points, and then Cebu with the same number. But it is goal difference that separates Taguig over Cebu. One Taguig at plus 18, Cebu at plus 16. And then at number 5, Laguna are currently at 24 points. If they get the win today, and Stalin Laguna will be back in this playoff push, and that will derail the hopes of Cebu. But it's not only up to this game, because these 2 teams right here will also figure or square off on Sunday right here at the same venue at the Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Stadium in Talisay. You see, of course, our ball boys and our referees getting ready to enter the pitch. But we do have time, of course, to take you through the starting lineups. Let's also assess the form first, but here you go. Let's get with our starting lineups. It is a 3-4-3 formation for Coach Herninieras and Coach Clint McDaniel. Roberto Llamas will get the nod as expected in goal, and do expect to see Shrap and Placito man the midfield. Seedog Schaffner will be at wing back. And we saw Ricky Sandra also play in a similar position last game that lost to Digger, although we do not expect him to put in those wing back, or to put in wing back duties. Let's see how this formation will develop for Stallion Laguna over the course of each game, as we say, because their players tend to be placed in different positions compared to what we see here. Stephen Ham, though, will be playing at center back. Oftentimes, when you see Ham at center back, Placito will be in the midfield, and then there's Koichi Belgira and Matt Nieras, who will be flanking Stephen Ham. Del Mundo will be playing up front, it seems, with with McDaniel and Galiana Trujillo. There's also the possibility that he will be that wing back player for them. So let's see again. Finn McDaniel is a player to look out for. He is in joint third spot in the top scorer race. He has 10 goals so far in this season. He is tied actually with Shuto Komaki. Above McDaniel, there's Modo Manny of Manila Digger and Seiko Sise of the same team. Well, let's see if McDaniel will be able to get going in this game, for obvious reasons, because it's a must win. Same goes also for Cebu FC, who are playing a 4-4, the 4-4-2, as Coach Glenn Ramos would like to do. Leo Makiling will be playing in the wing at left, Kainwa Bailey on the other side. Kaito Milan and Abu C. It's a no foreign attack or up front. And it will be Rio Togashi and Lorenzo Genko. I do recall it. He celebrated his birthday recently. A belated happy birthday. Jaime Rosquillo and Gabe Silva. Gabe Silva is playing against his former team. So that's the duo playing at the heart of defense. Kaja Mirul playing right back. Someone who could play at the center too. Papo Corsame will be at the left. He's really made Cebu his home when you talk about a football club. And Jun Badelik will be getting the nod as expected. Badelik is the top ranked local keeper. He has 6 clean sheets so far. Speaking of players to look out for in Cebu, we'll get to that in a bit. But with players to look out for, there is Abu C. It is not the first time he is playing against his former club Stallion Laguna, where he did get to play for them for 5 years. Because in between his stints with Cebu and Stallion, he did play for Kaya. Abu C is the top scorer now with 8, and he's received plenty of support from a great number of scores. We'll get to that also in a bit later on. But with our match officials, we have it right here as players are going to take it to the pitch for tune to the PFL anthem. Si Clifford Daipuit ay ang referee natin ngayon. Sila Francis Engalgado, Ian Christopher Salon ay ang assistants. Levi Sabelia is our fourth official. Jaime Nicolau the third is our assessor for referees. And Miss Ira Elan is our match commissioner right here. Let's get to it. We did run through our match officials right before right while our players were making it to the pitch. There you go once more with our match officials. Clifford Daipuyat, a veteran of the game, will be the man with the whistle. And he is assisted by Francis Engalgado and Ian Christopher Salon. Levi Sabelia is our fourth official. Jaime Nicolau the third is our referee assessor. Ms. Ira Ilan is our match commissioner. And this is Claro Manzano, your commentator for this fine evening. Always a sight to see PFL matchups right here at Cebu. And it's because of the atmosphere. And we've been hearing that things have been, or you can actually see on the left side of your screen, that things in Cebu Stadium have stepped up even more with the introduction of a cafe. Stallion Laguna will be in pink and blue. Cebu will be in all white. So this is match number 40, despite of us reaching the end already of the PFL season. And the reason why is because this game was rescheduled from late 2024. And with that, Stallion and Cebu agreed to play their games right here. Stefan Chak will be getting the start. He did not get to play against Manila Digger due to injury and was was on the bench But he was not inserted as precaution, we were told. But with their backs against the wall now, Laguna have opted to put him in the starting 11 because it's go time. And you could say it's the same too for Cebu FC, who have been on full throttle and have been trying to just bag results or go all out in every game. Rafi Dabao is missing though from this squad. He is serving a suspension. A number of players missing also from Stallion, the likes of OJ Porteria, who's recovering from an injury. As Abu C is going to kick off this game. There you go, a handshake between Leo Makiling and Finn McDaniel as this is off. The strong start from Laguna because of the intention to press. Pero nakay Jaime Rosquillo ngayon. Tries to send it to safety, but it wasn't enough. Kaito Milan found himself in a tough spot. It's with Ricky Sendra now. It's on the left. It's going to work out there. Galiana Trujillo, as expected, playing on the right, then McDaniel up front. Finn McDaniel's sisters, Chandler and Olivia, are currently with the Filipinas, the women's national team. They are in UAE, as it is the international break for the women's side. Nieras to Ricky Sendra. Sendra wants to bounce back because he could not open the business day last weekend. Papu is a looping ball near the broadcast side. A Placito got it to Shraki. And this is a treat that we'll get to see here. Stefan Schock and Leo Makiling going at it. Koichi Belgira slid it to Shraki. No pressure though from Abu C. Nieras to Sendra. There was the hit from Rio Togashi. Not enough for Clifford Daipuya to call for a foul, as it's with Jun Badelik. Also confident with his feet, but he gave it away there too soon. Shraki in the middle. Gabe Silva locking him down, and it's an opener just like that. 1-0 for Laguna. You put Kuya Shraki in a dangerous spot, you know what he's going to do. But Gabe Silva, I believe, was asking for a call or protesting a non-call. But a dream start here for the visitors. The pressure from McDaniel and Jun Baderik gave it up to Del Mundo, to Shraki. An assist there from the Filipino-Mexican to the former Philippines national team captain. Just like that, but you expect better from Cebu FC, especially with the way they have made this home or this stadium their fortress. We didn't even get to run through our storylines. And Shraki found the back of the net. And as early as now, you could say it's bounce back time for Cebu. Alfonso Del Mundo indeed playing on the left wing. So if Ricky Sendra is on the right, we're curious to see who'll be playing wing back, unless it is a 3-5-2 formation and not a 3-4-3, where Galiana Trujillo is the wing back. As he plays it to Finn. One tells Sendra to get it so they can get more numbers. Sendra got to thread the needle. Finn McDaniel blasting it, but this one sails over the top corner. He sends his apologies, but that was a quality find and great play. And it was great play from Trujillo and Sendra. Now, how will Jun Badelik lift up the spirits of the home side with him as the captain? Of course, there's him leading by example at the back. Here's some head tennis and a collision. And an early yellow card given up. I believe this is Genko. Not how you want to get a late happy birthday gift, that's for sure. And was that a high boot from Placito? But from what we are seeing, Genko was not stretchered off or helped off the pitch. And you could say at the least, thankfully, it's not as bad as we initially thought. So here's Gabe Silva. This is the first game where he is playing against his former club, where he had 2 stints along with Gabe Silva, another former player for Cebu, Kainwa Bailey, who's been with Cebu already for about the last calendar year. Magson Dorado, like Gabe Silva, did make the jump in this recent transfer window, which was right after Christmas, about February. So we have a whistle here. It will go the way of the Gentle Giants. For those who just tuned in, and it's 1-0 thanks to Stefan Schrock. He got to find the back of the net of the Del Mundo assist. And just like that, in a bad way, the favor was repaid or returned. And then it is a yellow against Kaito Milan for hitting Nieras, it seems. So this came off the head of Papu. And then this was possibly a knee from Milan while trying to play the ball, then got into an accidental collision with Matt Nieras. There was the intention to play the ball and not hurt Nieras. Hey, and let's recall. But first, referee Clifford Daipuya telling Matt Nieras to head to the side. Is that because he is bleeding? Normally that is the reason, or that will be the reason why. In protocol, of course, blood from shirt or blood stains from shirts will have to be removed. And same goes also. Any wounds will have to be covered. As this was unideal from Placito, it was dealt with by the Cebu backline but returned it to Laguna. Koichi. Stephen Ham, but play is stopped. It seems this is going to be a throw in from the side because the ball went out of play. Coach Glenn and his staff pictured. It stands for Cebu. Shraki took a fall. No problem there for Abu C. And Rio Tokashi will try to direct traffic now. It was from the start where Laguna started clicking on all cylinders. Silva versus Shraki. Back to Badelik. Nieras is off his head. Liliana Trujillo, but Makiling secured the touch for them. Leo Makiling, a standout, of course, from Ateneo de Manila, and is Cebuano. Speaking of Ateneo de Manila, that is where Makiling played in the UAAP. If we look at the other side, there is Coach Clint and Coach Ernie's side. Mr. Philbert Alquiros, one of Stallion's team owners, traveling with them as expected. A very hands-on team official. And what is the call here? Cebu seemed to be frustrated with that one. A bit of the finger wag from Hiromasa Ishikawa. Same as Jacob Liao on the other side, or on the other hand, showing his displeasure, disapproval. That's the reason why Sea-Dog Schaffner was stripped. Cebu contesting that. Maybe saying he tripped on his own. Like Clifford Daipuya, that's the best angle for that. So it will be a service from the left, and Finn will be taking it. Speaking of services, this would be Mark Hartman ever since he returned to or moved to Stallion, but he is on the bench. Here comes the delivery from McDaniel. A Placito trying to get it, but it's at the feet of Papu, showing us his footwork. Angas ng tondo, as some have acknowledged him as. Stephen Ham sent it over to the side. Could you say also put in this factor? It is a Wednesday. It's a weekday. So not too many people out by Cebu FC standards, because their crowd would often get into it when we talk about home field advantage. but the numbers are pouring in nonetheless. Caliana Trujillo the clearance as Jaime Rosquillo will chase, but it was with Badelic eventually. Badelic the long ball to the right. Kainua Bailey and company with Kaj Amirul trying to get something. Kaj Amirul the throw. They're getting forward inch by inch. Will this be that opportunity for Cebu to start their engines? This touch was loose, and that is why it is going to return the other way now, the visitors. And even as early as 2022 and 2023, Coach Ernie Nieras and Mr. Ortasi, the latter, the owner of Cebu FC, did acknowledge that this is a rivalry indeed. That was even though Cebu were only into their first PFL season. As this ball to Galiana Trujillo was stopped and then played back by Togashi. The reason with that rivalry is because the reason for that rivalry is because their games would oftentimes be close between these two distinguished clubs. Shockey got to thread the needle. Kajamiru to chase. Man on him though. And that was dangerously close already to being outside. But there's a player down for the Gentle Giants as Badelic will ensure that play is stopped, and it is Papu Korsame. He's been down on the pitch for some time already. Holding on to his face. But it's been a physical game, but as we've said, Mr. Tash and Coach Ernie have agreed that this is a rivalry indeed, given that almost all of their games would be close, even before Cebu joined the PFL by playing in the Copa Paulino Alcantara during the pandemic. I expect some stoppage here for Papu. Just a bit of the drink and shaking that off. You'll be thankful though that it's not as bad also as you initially think. We were mentioning the same earlier for Lorenzo Genco, because he took a tough hit also in midfield just when this game started. And not the birthday of Genco when we look at the records, but perhaps a birthday of a family member where he saw the Cebu FC team have a get-together for dinner. So resume that status quo. It was with Badelic earlier. It's on the left Del Mundo. Mr. Incredible. Over to Sendra. Sendra surveys, knocked it wide to one. He's in the corner. He's in the pocket. Rosquillo to stop. But it's still with the team in pink and blue. Well, we were talking about Matt Nieras earlier. The last time Cebu came here, Nieras had to slot in at makeshift goalkeeper. And with the rules, Laguna were prepared. They did have a blank goalkeeper jersey. As here's Shraki, just dazzling Tokashi. And because of that, there's space wide for Sendra. How will Korsame and Makiling hold the fort here? Shraki just dissecting the defense again. But with that, the Gentle Giants defense did get to do enough. And that's because Shraki's ball could not connect. He'll take a stop against a player like Stefan Schrock. Now, let's see again. How will Jun Badelic, the veteran, lift his team up? Team captain or not, as a goalkeeper, they have that vocal role of coordinating with their defense, especially on set pieces. But with his tenure as a professional football player, it's no surprise that you have those traits in Juno Badelic, and he has the armband. Here comes Sea Dog Schaffner taking on Kajamirul. Another battle of the hairstyles, we will say. As Kajamirul is the victor and got to draw that foul. Gabe Silva will take this at the back to resume. With the recent form, it has not been so great for Laguna in their last 3 games. They are winless in their last 3 games. But when you look at the big picture and push that form or assessment to the last 5 games, it was Minjola. It was wins over Minjola in the youth national team. It's Ñeras versus Makiling. And we'll say it again. Matt Ñeras is playing against a player he covered in the UAP. Ñeras would be an analyst also for UAP men's football. Makiling, a player in the recent edition of the competition. There's Roberto Llamas. Going back, Ñeras had to play makeshift goalkeeper, as this is definitely outside. When Freddy Cortez, Stallion's keeper then, did get a concussion. Cortez is with Kaya now, and Roberto Llamas is filling in those shoes. As Papo will resume, Makiling is calling for it. But they gave it to Kaito Milan. And Milan does of late, with his system of Coach Glenn, is playing up front because we saw him get utilized as a winger under their previous coach. Here comes Tokashi, trying to switch it up. Placito, but headed it to Genko. Shraki, lobbing this into some space, but read by Papu Korsame as he just escorted that ball out. So just to recap the form again, so Stallion defeated Minjola in the youth national team, but bagged 2 draws back to back versus Davao, then Loyola, and then a loss versus Digger. It's always tough to come off defeats, as here was the clearance from Gabe Silva. It's Cebu. Yes, Cebu did concede, but they're getting stops on defense, but they need to carve things out on the offensive end. As this is a clearance, Galiana Trujillo put that ball in a dangerous place. Off of Rosquillo, hit it to the side rather than the center, of course, for safety. Ñeras versus Milan. Just slithering through. Switching it up. Bailey. He assisted in the last game of Cebu wherein they won 3-1 over Loyola. But there's a foul here. It will go the way of the home side. We were talking about starting their engines with Cebu. They haven't been able to do so. They started this game on the back foot. This is a tough 2-game stretch for these 2 teams because they are going to be playing each other on Sunday. That's back-to-back games, always an extra challenge. Yes, coaches would say that you'd be able to scout one another. But that extra familiarity could just help in games like these. This will be a chance to cross from the right wing. Here comes the service. It was loose. Abusi trying to keep it. Cleared off by Placito. It's been incredible for A. Placito so far as Rocky places of in McDaniel on the run. Off target though. And Papu and Amirul definitely did enough there. But they were playing with a bit of fire. It was on the counter. So as expected though, there was space. Amirul and Korsame were there at the back just to protect the goal of Badelic in the event that set piece went wayward. But going back, as we wanted to talk about the recent form of Cebu FC, they fell to the top 2 teams back-to-back 2-1 losses, and then drew one to Gig FC, and draws hurt you, of course, in the long term after stopping their back-to-back or their back-to-back losses are putting a skid to that. It is back-to-back wins for Cebu over Loyola and Maharlika. On paper, actually, these two teams have struggled against high-ranked opposition. They figure closely in the standings as here comes Leo. Just took that touch that let him down. And it's recovered by Bailey. Using his footwork. That's what Bailey likes to do also. As here's Ricky Sendra. They concede or they give up the corner rather than allow Cebu to cross this in from side to side. And Stallion's goalkeeper in Llamas was asking for more there from his back line, asking him to tighten up without a doubt. Well, that chance earlier from Leo Makiling gone begging by a bit because an extra touch just allowed the defense to recover. They are keeping the pressure on. Bailey sends it with his right. An in-swinger, the header from Gabe Silva. And as Roberto Llamas got the stop, there you go. He hit the ground. Oh, and Gabe Silva saying hello to Roberto Llamas. They are of the same nationality, Llamas and Silva. Well, Roberto Llamas, it appeared, was not happy with Gaito Milan because he was hit. But as is the case with the loss of the game, situations like these, it's a foul that favors the keeper. Gaito Milan was going for a scissors kick from point blank while the keeper is trying to go for it. But hence, there was the whistle from Clifford Daipuyat and foul against Milan. It will go the way of Llamas. Is this an effort to waste time already with them leading? We say this, of course, with whoever leads the game. Llamas having a word with his other center back in Matnieras. But for sure, they are making some adjustments and fine-tuning. Because as of late, momentum's gone the way of Cebu. Especially with that free kick and the corner kick earlier. Almost 25% into this game already, and it is your midweek fixture again between Dynamic Herb Cebu FC, or CFC as they are also called, and Stallion Laguna. And Stallion lead 1-0 thanks to the goal of Stefan Schrock. And it was off the assist of Alonso Del Mundo. Stephen Ham the clearance from deep, and it was won easily by Abusi. Gaito Milan tried to play it as Koichi Belgira cleared it. The intention was correct from Jaime Rosquilla to play it wide to Corsame. Well, that ball had too much power. I believe that's some in-game adjustments being made by Matt with his team, of course, and some tweaks. It's a throw in here. Asendra was pleading that it was off of Leo Makiling. Cebu and Papu Corsame pictured in all white as he sends this off the head of C. Gaito Milan. Kenko took a fall versus Placito. Placito returned the favor too. Gave a bit of that nudge to Kenko. Leo Makiling cutting in now. Milan, he'll shoot, but doesn't score. And Llamas tipped that one over the bar. A shot on target for Cebu. That's essentially signs of progress here for them in this game. Gaito Milan was challenged a bit to shoot. Speaking of the kit colors, we mentioned for Cebu earlier in white. Stallion Laguna in pink and blue. That was definitely on target. But sent through the center, positioning or the positioning of Roberto Llamas did the trick. As Bailey will be taking this once more. Kyle Bailey, a former Philippines international. His brother Zico a current international and featured recently in the squad of Coach Albert, as this corner kick is offline for CFC. We were talking about the crowd being a factor here, but they haven't really played that role in this game. But there's still the atmosphere, that's for sure. And the numbers are great considering it's a Wednesday. And it was in the last two editions of the PFL wherein Stallion derailed Cebu's championship hopes. Shraki, he's been given the license of Trujillo. Cleared off by Silva. It will go back and forth. Not the way of Cebu though, as Finn wanted to capitalize. Ricky Sendra. It's two veteran midfielders working together, Shraki and Ricky Sendra. And it seems that this was offside against Laguna. Let's also review again the playoff scenarios. So to simplify things for Cebu FC, if they win all of their games, they can make it up to third place. But third place may not be enough when you talk about playing once more in the AFC competitions, which is AFC Champions League 2 now for the Philippines, because it is only the top two teams who will get spots to play in the continental level. And Kaya pretty much a shoe-in to play at least in the qualifying playoff of the AFC Champions League 2. Manila Digger, we were told, can possibly play in that aforementioned competition should they get the endorsement from the PFF. The number one team again, as this is a foot race. Rosquillo is busy. It's it to the side. Papu. Makiling. Beaten by Nieras. Released with a man on him. Placito to Shraki. Shraki, but it ricocheted off a number of players. And going back, yes, Manila Digger could potentially play in the AFC Champions League 2. It's only 2 spots, so in theory well, not in theory, but the top 2 spots locked in by Kai and Manila Digger, but they can interchange. But nonetheless, although Cebu will only potentially enter the final series with the glass half full, they will take that opportunity. Same goes for Stallion, as Roberto Llamos intercepted his ball into his 6-yard box. When we look at the picture also, Stallion can also finish as high as third place if they win all the remaining matches, and then Hope Wantagig will drop points, and then Laguna will also need to improve their goal difference. Makiling will try to take on Nieras, 2 homegrown players. Leo gave it to Gaito. Not so incredible though from Placito there as he gets beaten. There was the fall. Referee Clifford Daipuyat says get up. Abu C was animated up front. Stallion Trujillo. His ball to play Finn was intercepted. Now Cebu get it. They are getting that rhythm, or they can get that rhythm if they'll play from the back. So we ran through the situations pretty much with a simplified version on how these two teams could advance to the finals series. As here is a whistle against Koichi Belgira. And there you go, that's what we were waiting for. The crowd getting into it. Doc Joe 2, of course, of Cebu. I'm not so sure that was Handan or a Rehan. That was too quick of a shot, but of course, the Herb in Cebu's team name is actually an acronym for the Tassi siblings. Handan Evren Rehan Barish. Evren now the sporting director of Cebu FC. Barish still with the team but recovering from an ACL. This will be a corner. Kainwa Bailey is the designated man for that. But as we mentioned, although these teams cannot make it to the AFC competitions, in theory, of course, everything here is tentative. And what we just mentioned in licensing and nominations, the champion of the final series will represent the Philippines and the PFL in the next edition of the Shopee Cup. So the 4 teams who advance to the final series have that extra incentive. Win the final series, of course, and you will play in the ASEAN Club Championship or the Shopee Cup. As Shrockyos down on the ground after a challenge from Korsame, and Yaras will let it out. And a shout out, by the way, to our friend PFL Bible for giving us the scenarios for the last 2 tickets to make it to the final series. As here's Shrocky having a word with our referee. 15 minutes remaining in the first 45. It is still Stallion with the lead thanks to that man pictured, Stefan Schrock. I'm not happy with the non-call though, where he appears to take a hit from Papu Corsame. Juliana Trujillo. But there was the slide, and it was from Kainwa Bailey who was swapped wings with Leo Makiling. Senja will try to stretch it now. It's inside. I believe this was dummied and cleared off well by the defense. Shraki calling this from Nieras. Placito. Sendra. Be wary because Cebu can pounce on the counter if they get to stop here. But you also have to be worried because if they keep up the pressure, they could double their lead as Jun Badele gets the stop in the bottom right corner. I believe that was Sea-Dog Schaffner who got that shot on target. Here's Gabe Silva. Still a sight to see Finn McDaniel and Gabe Silva playing against each other. Gabe Silva did have a stint outside the Philippines, but he was still in the ASEAN region recently before going back to the Philippines to play for Cebu this time. Do note Silva is Brazilian American. Stephen Ham got a bit of a push from Kainwa Bailey. It will still stay with the visitors. I believe Shraki was the original person they wanted to get the ball to there. As it's a fall from Placito. Not often he takes a fall. Played quickly though. Shraki thrives in situations like these. In a crowded space, and McDaniel drills it in just like that. A similar story here because it's Stefan Schrock once more capitalizing on a free kick that was taken quickly at the back. But Finn McDaniel bags goal number 11 of the season. And it was the assist there from Stefan Schrock. Definitely a candidate for man of the match with the way he's influenced this game. Silva came close to getting the stop because he was sliding, where he was trying to come up with that sliding tackle. Well, it's a goal for Finn McDaniel, the leading scorer of Laguna. We also pointed out that Finn is now the man with the captain's armband as of late, because it would often be Matt Nieras with the, or you could say that hierarchy with the captain's armband for Stallion. There'd be Balot Doctora before he jumped ship to Minjola, but when Balot would be on the bench, Matt, of course, would be wearing the armband from starting, and then Finn would be playing with him and would be the co-captain. But it seems Nieras has opted to give the captaincy to Finn McDaniel. We are just mentioning that, of course, with the facts surrounding the story, because with Cebu, it's Jun Badelic pretty much through and through as a starting goalkeeper of theirs. Sea-Dog Shafter got this to Del Mundo. The switch. Ricky Sendra. Placito gave it back to the Argentinian. Caliana Trujillo. Nieras. Placito is telling him there's some space on the right. Seems to be working for them, as this is very routine for Badelic. Questions that need answering now for Cebu. Yes, they are inside the top 4 as we mentioned, but it is not yet clinched. It is a 4-team race for the last 2 tickets for the final series. Because of that, the late games in this season are virtually like playoff games. As this is played through and cleared by Papu. Gotta love the effort from Papu Korsame, but this ball was gifted back to Shraki as it's with Ricky Sendra. Could we say these games late in the season or semi-final series games? Just a joke, of course. As Papu has been in that lockdown mode as of late, but the Cebu have had to pay an expensive price already. 2 goals conceded, and we are only in the first half. It just seems that Laguna have had success playing in this stadium. Because again, as we've said, in the last 2 seasons, Cebu's title hopes were really derailed by Stallion. One will take this. It's an outswinger. Kainuma Bailey couldn't get to it. Rocky once more. Off Del Mundo's boot. Badelic saw that one. June played it quickly. Koichi trying to send it back. Bailey finding himself in the middle. This ball was played forward, but there was not enough support for Gaito Milan. Perhaps Cebu would have liked to wait for some numbers. But they get it there with some show of character, as I spoke too soon. This is a throw window. 9 minutes remaining and change in the first half. Stefan Chak and Finn McDaniel are the goal scorers so far this evening in Cebu. And Alonzo Del Mundo assisted the goal of Shraki, while Shraki played it forward and assisted Finn McDaniel. As Finn McDaniel is in joint second now in the top scorer race with 11. He is tied with Modu Mane. As this ball was looping, but it will go the way of Stallion. The time continues to tick here as the fans in attendance wait for a response from the home side. Plenty of space here. Leo Makiling versus Nieras. Got past one. Shoots! Almost a wonder goal from Leo. But it was just off the goal frame. I thought that was good from the get-go. I'll try to give you a replay of that attempt later. With the dead ball, we'll take a look at that one. Llamas came for the save, but Makiling got to beat him. But off the post. That's gotta hurt. And Leo Makiling is already shaken off that giggle or nerves, you could say, because he already got to score his maiden goal in the PFL. That was versus Maharlika. Delgira got beaten. It's in a tight space on the further end. And then a foul here against Shraki. It will go the way of Ryo Togashi. That's the second time that Shraki hasn't been happy with a call. I could see team manager Cebu Hanawong calling for a card. From that incident, it will go the way of Cebu. 6 minutes remaining until we get additional time. Secured by Kainoa Bailey. Playing it to Genko. Genko kept it inside. You see, Doug Schaffner poked it away just to give up that corner. Throw in. Still with the Gentle Giants. They're playing the patient game. Perhaps some creativity could spell the difference. Throw in from Kaj off of Abusi's foot. Amirul. Cebu persisting on the right. And that's for understandable reasons. This one was to no avail for the Gentle Giants. And that's why Koichi Bilgira will take a throw in. Oh, there's the pub we were talking about, or the cafe over at the Dynamic Herb Sports Stadium. Cebu FC, as we know, the only PFL team to be based outside of Luzon, being the lone team from the Visayas region. Cebu not only representing Cebu itself, but the entire Visayas region. As Kajamirul had to be separated by the efforts of our fourth official, as Shraki gets a yellow. Clifford Aipuya, the veteran of the game. Both sides doing what they can, of course, to sway things their way. There was Alonso Del Mundo and Kajamirul dueling. This is what sparked things. Mess with one guy, you are going to mess with the entire team. Then McDaniel and Hannah Wong just seem to have a light moment there in the sidelines, in spite of the tension. Coach Clint looks on, as is the case for Mr. Tassi and Coach Glenn on the other side of the benches. But we have to remember, with any extracurricular activities, you're going to waste time, and that will not go the way of the Gentle Giants because they're caught playing catch-up. Abusi slid this one. Togashi to Papu. Makiling wants it at his feet. For Same, they will retreat, but they still keep possession. Kainoa Bailey has been shifted also to the middle, it seems, taking on Finn McDaniel. That was repelled by Nieras. Bailey got this ball back. The give and go. Play this one through. And it is a handball, as we saw. And then a yellow versus Stephen Halm, it seems. I was speculating if it's between Ham and Placito. We'll try to get a clearer picture of who got the yellow there, but my first guess is Stephen Halm. Oh, there you go. It's with Halm because of his handball. And Clifford Aipuya explaining why it was a handball. A Placito, for sure, not convinced. Well, I believe the Stallion side is saying that the hand was in a natural position. Very difficult, of course, to interpret these things from the common person, people outside of the game, such as ourselves and fans. But Clifford Aipuya, as we know, again, an experienced referee, he had the best angle also for that. But as we talk about things, this is a prime scoring opportunity for Cebu. Rio Togashi also lurking perhaps for a dummy. Kainoa Bailey can potentially get this on target too. But with the angle, he can also play it to a teammate. Goes for the target, but it is just off. Bailey cannot believe it. The fans cannot believe it. We thought that was on target also, like Leo Makiling's shot earlier, but Leo's shot was in open play. Less than a minute remaining until additional time. Here's a look again at Bailey's attempt. The goalkeeper in Llamas reacted. Too much swerve by just a bit there from Bailey. And for those not familiar, this turf is also artificial. The only games to be played on natural grass in Cebu are at the Iloilo Sports Complex. Bailey getting this one. Wide to Makiling. He's gone back to his usual left wing role for this evening. Papu will secure. Rosquillo providing space also. But Delic will give the helping hand. 2 minutes of additional time as our stadium announcer confirmed. He slid it to Shraki versus Togashi. Got the release. Placito also played Ricky Sendra right before he got chased down. Papu Persame winning this. It's still inside according to our officials, but Matt Niera spoils the Cebuano party. Ricky Sandra took a hit. No call there. Niera's got Meg, but not enough power. He got to secure it and gave it back to Placito. Sandra still down. Galiana Trujillo still wants to carry on. There's the movement, of course, as they want to slice the defense, but no good for Del Mundo. 1 minute already has gone by in additional time in this midweek fixture between Cebu in white and Stallion Laguna in pink and blue. We'll check if Ricky Sandra has gotten his attention already in terms of him getting his hit. There you go, as we mentioned earlier. We'll try to make things work with the magic spray, as people often call it, or casually call it. The cold spray, of course. But with Ricky Sendra voicing his thoughts on that non-call, perhaps he is okay. Clifford Daipuyan, of course, confident in his explanations. Sendra back on his feet and we'll resume. We have hit the 2-minute mark already here at the Dynamic Herb Borromea Sports Complex. Perhaps this may be the last spell of possession, or maybe a little more, given that stoppage. But Stefan Schrank and Finn McDaniel are the goal scorers in this evening so far. Sea Dog Schaffner. Busi trying to put pressure on Placito. They played it to Ricky Sendra because they thought that he was back in play already. Sendra was on the side and Sendra had to stay on the side because he received medical attention. Now he gets it here as Leo Makiling will try to poke it away from him. Ricky. We've really seen him hit the Jets as of late. This did not trouble June Badelic at all. But it is 2-0, Stallion Laguna with the lead over the home side, Cebu FC. As we just mentioned, Stefan Schrock gave the opener. Finn McDaniel doubled the lead of Laguna. Del Mundo with the initial assist, while Schrock came away the second assist of the evening. But it's the halftime break, and we'll be back after a bit.